Hey guys, welcome back. I'm EDC Gunner, and today I'm gonna review this 38mm Junkers watch. This is a German watch made in Germany, and it wears quite nice on the wrist. Feels more like 40mm on the wrist because of the bezel size. In fact, I also have another watch that is 38mm here, and I also had IWC, which was the similar as this Omega, and this one feels bigger, and that's because the Omega has a bezel here, and this one does not have any bezel. It's all dial, and it contributes to the watch looking bigger on the wrist. So this is a German watch. It's made in Germany. It says so right on the dial. And what year is it? I'm not sure, but my guesstimate would be 2000s, early 2000s, 2005, probably to 2010. And because when I take a look at the Poljot watch factory and some Poljot Aviator and Vostok Europe watches, Russians, I see some of those watches coming out back in the early 2000s, and this one is the same, just like the Poljot Aviator. And you might say why I'm talking about this. This is a German watch, or I'm talking about Russian watches, because when you flip over the watch, at the heart of this watch, you can see it is powered by the Russian machine. This is a Russian machine, and this is Pollard caliber 3133. This is 20. Let me say how many joules they have here. 23 joules. But the count of joules doesn't really matter. It's more of a gimmick than everything else. Joules are for friction in the gears and levers, so it doesn't really matter. This is a 7734 Valjoux based movement, which Russians bought the equipment and blueprints and created their own. It's a pretty crude chronograph movement, but it's kind of famous because it produced some of the most famous watches from the Russian front, and it is also famous because this is, in fact, one of the most affordable mechanical chronographs a newbie collector can buy out there in the market. You can buy a Chinese Seagull Moment chronograph, which has a bowed screws, fake bowed screws or real bowed, I don't really know, and it's a bit more decorated. But this is purely Russian, and you can see no decorations here. Some of them might be decorated, like this plate here, base plate, but this one, like most of the pilot watches, this is just pure machining and just pure function. It's a cantilever chronograph, so it's not column wheel or anything else. It's a bit more cruder, but so is the Moon watch. And in fact, this watch works beautifully. Movements in this watches, as you know, when I did unboxing, these movements are not quite as shock resistant as some of the automatic watches from Vostok and Amphibia because it's in fact a chronograph. So sometimes the second hand might not reset properly at the 12 o'clock. It might be start there, stop here or there, and sometimes even the chronograph function malfunction. And also one of the other drawbacks of this watch is that the quick set date, yes, this one has a date at 6 o'clock here, and it also has a quick set date of the window is that there's a little waver here there that is prone to breaking, but that's just a design movement flaw. This one on this watch, I had it fixed when I got it from the box. Unboxed it, the stopwatch didn't function. Now I got it fixed with my watchmaker and everything works, and the quick set date also works. So I will show you that. It's quite interesting, not like on the normal watches. Yeah, so the case is made in Germany, that's for sure, or not, but it says so on the case, so we're gonna give them benefit of doubt. Nowadays, everything's made in China, so you can never properly trust no one, but this is a European edition number 443, made in Germany, all stainless steel, water resistant, 5 atmospheres. So that's basically occasional splash or anything, but keep your chronographs away from water. That's my strong recommendation. So Junkers as an interesting brand. I'm not gonna delve too much into history. I'm just here to show you the watch. Um, you can always go on Wikipedia or Junkers website and check out the history. But were making planes from World War II for the wrong side, but they were making some solid good planes, and hence the aviation history and everything else by it. And I quite like some of their watches, but usually when I buy Junkers watch, I want it to be mechanical, automatic or chronograph like this one. So it's hard to produce your own chronograph, and to use Poljot movement 3133, which is quite famous, is better option than to use a Chinese movement in my opinion. So this is what these brands can do. They can use Sansan 50, which is automatic chronograph, or they can use a pilot movement, and it's quite cool. I like Russian watches, and pilot movement was one of my first grill chronographs. There is a watch similar to this one. It's 40 mil. It's called Poljot Aviator. It's very cool. I did a review. I review it. Just do a YouTube search EDC Gunner Poljot, and you will find it, guarantee, or whatever. So let me just quickly look at this watch. Where you can get this watch? Well, my best guesstimate is the eBay or your local ads. Just hunt and everything. You can see the crystal is mineral crystal. It's not a sapphire. So this is not like the Elangenzona German watch, but this is a budget German watch, and it's quite decent. There's a little bit recess at the subdials, and the numerals are all luminova applied. It glows a little bit in the dark, but nothing to write home about. And what I would fix with this watch to make it better, I would slap on a sapphire crystal and make it glow in the dark better. And I think this is it. That's pretty much it. So, chronograph function with the Poljot 3133, you may push it like this all the way you want, but nothing will happen. You might think it's broken, but it's not. With the Poljot, just like everything Russian, it's a bit crude, so you need to apply quite a bit of force to start the chronograph. And I actually kind of like it. You need to really push it, so no accidents here. You cannot accidentally start this chronograph. And if you keep your chronograph running for, I don't know, half a day, which happened to me once because I forgot to stop it, it kind of affects the accuracy of the watch. Otherwise, this movement is very accurate. Poljot is one of the best Russian watch manufacturers, and it definitely shows here. Wonderful watch. The crown is also a bit stiff when you pull it out, but that's because of the rubber seal here. So, other than that, when I'm finished here, the full circle of the chronograph, I want to show you this here minute register. So you have a 30 minutes register for the chronograph, and the central, this is a second hand, and that's it. So it's a 30-minute register chronograph, and here you can see it flawlessly skips 1 minute passes. So you stop it. It's a bit crude, but I kind of like it. I love the dial layout of this Pilot's watches because I love this here inverted triangle with the 2 dots. There's something about the Pilot's watches, and there's something about the chronographs. Most of the folks say I'm not using chronographs on a day-to-day basis, so neither do I. But and you say that and you don't want to buy and collect chronographs. That's fine. You buy whatever you want, but neither do I. I don't use chronographs daily. I use it just for the sake of it because I want to have some fun and play around. But I appreciate chronograph movement, even from Poljot to the higher end, more decorated movements. I really appreciate the craftsmanship and artistry and everything else that goes into producing a watch like this. And that's why I wanted to have a chronograph movement. It was it was also one of my grail moments. So if you want a mechanical chronograph, Poljot, Russian Poljot 3133 is the best bet. And these watches, what are they priced at? Well, I'm not really sure. I haven't checked it out, and price is always subject to change. I made videos back in the day, the best watches for $3,000. I include some Rolexes, and nowadays I get comments like, "What are you smoking, man? Where can you get that?" Price is always subject to change, and take a look at the date when the video was published, and that's it. So go on eBay. I just let's just say 200 to 300, 400, 500. You can buy brand new Poljot Chronograph 3133, so don't go over that. Anyways, there's a cool website, poljoturen.de, so you can check that out for some cool Poljot watches. It's from Germany, and this is made in Germany. So I'm speaking more about Russian watches because I'm a movement guy. I like movement, and this is a Russian movement. The case is satin finish, no polished parts all over the place. I have forgotten to add the lug to lug width is 44 millimeters. However, you can see the lugs are curved down there, so it wears beautifully on the wrist, and it's thick 14 and a half millimeters. So I would say 15 because I'm not a sneasel. Anyways, great watch for the money. Highly recommended if you want to add to your collection. Chronograph, mechanical chronograph. You can find some also cool 7750 watches. Automatic Vaju, I mentioned Sector watch, and some off brands. If you don't care about brands and just like movements, go on eBay, find some 7750 movements. You can buy them for bargains. And of course, mechanical manual wound. This one has a 38 power reserve Poljot 313, and it will run you for like 2 days, and it's very accurate, this one. And I don't speak often about watch accuracy because if watch is not accurate, that something is wrong with it. For example, one of my watches was constantly losing 2 minutes a day. It wasn't accurate. I took it to my watchmaker, and the balance was a bit out of place, so he just put it back, and watch become normal. So I never say watch is accurate to this and that. If I check to reference it to my phone or my computer, if it's the same time, that's good enough for me because yeah, I'm not that kind of guy. So that's it. Thank you for watching, guys.